Welcome, everybody, to another episode of this podcast. And today we have as our guest Alexander Lancer, co founder of Otro AI. Welcome, Alexander.
Thank you, Stefan. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having
It's
me.
always cool to have another founder of
I'm pleased to be here.
an AI first company, right? Because that's what Otro AI is as a company. But for people that don't know you yet, in just a
Mhm.
couple of minutes, explain who is Alexander and how did you get started with Otro?
Otro AI is an AI agency, an AI automation agency, and we got started around like 12 months ago. I started it with my co-founder Philip, and yeah, in the beginning we were really taking a look at which operational processes could be optimized, could be automated with AI technology. As we noticed with the big ChatGPT boom that happened at the later end of 2022 in November, everybody knew, okay, AI is this really big thing. I can talk to this ChatGPT and it can help me and give me some answers, but how do I really use it in a practical manner to really boost my company? And we noticed that there was a gap of people knowing what AI could do, but didn't know how they could use it in their own company. So that's when we put our heads together and say, okay, let's start this thing because we were already into it, and we noticed that we could help people. So we started from there, and suddenly we are 12 months later and still doing it. So
Nice,
can't
nice. Yeah,
complain.
I think a lot of people that noticed the emergence of AI and especially ChatGPT really did see the opportunity to start a business around it because a lot of businesses don't really know how to use it. So it's definitely a smart move. Now, there's also, of course, a lot of people that take the opportunity just to start something around AI because they know how to prompt in AI. Now, I would argue that that's not really a business model that is sustainable. So, how did you go about looking at a real business model for Otro AI? What did you feel like was the best move there?
Yeah. So in the beginning, we were more taking our positioning as like these AI chatbots because we noticed that, okay, so we have ChatGPT, which is very general, but we didn't want to have like a general solution for these companies. We would want something that's trained based on their own company data, for example, something that would be like your own ChatGPT of, let's say, for example, Titanify or Ultra AI. So then we took a look, okay, which use cases could have the most impact with these AI chatbots? And we quickly noticed that customer support is something that the traditional chatbot in support was very, or is still very terrible. You probably have encountered it yourself as well. You ask it a question and it says, "Oh, sorry, I can't answer, but I'll pass it through to my colleague and he will answer in like a few days." So that's a traditional chatbot. But now with the power of AI, and especially since ChatGPT also became public, we could link those chat interfaces with the APIs so that we could have like a conversational way and way more flexible way of working so that even if it wouldn't be hard coded the answer that the user is looking for, it can still find the information from the company data. And then with the use of fine tuning and also having the right automations in place, because that's where really the power came through, where our solutions had some real ROI value actually for the companies, was when once we used the AI technology and linked them with the right automation software to have like this value chain actually, that would be part of a bigger system. Let's say, for example, in the beginning, you would have a customer support chatbot. It would just be the chatbot itself. So you could interact and it would just send through the email. But right now, we could have way more than that. We could have the chatbot, which could actually be prompted that way or built that way that it would gather for more extra information about the customer. So that once the customer goes through a whole conversation flow, way more insights can get can come from like one conversation. It can be sent automatically to the right person as well, based on the information that is analyzed, and then put into the right CRM. The CRM would automatically update the different statuses. So you could have like a whole limitless possibility of options actually. And yeah, that's where we saw the real value actually come through. And then in the beginning we were more generalized, but right now we started to niche down and really fine tune our service
Yeah,
as
and
well.
starting to look at how you can really get an ROI for your customers at the first place is really important. And that piece where you can help people, your potential customers, make a decision by enhancing the answers with your own data, with also how the customer is acting on this kind of situation. I think it's very valuable. It's
Hmm.
enhancing the customer journey. I talk about that a lot. Enhancing the customer journey with automations, with AI, very important, I think. And for sure, I mean, people will also see the failures
Hmm.
with these chatbots, right? Some of the bigger companies that just added the chatbot to their website, and they were able, some people were just able to get free stuff through their chatbots. So those examples don't really help to help us sell the idea that a chatbot is a good idea. But yeah, with all these kind of stories, it helps us to improve, right? And you mentioned that you were starting to niche down, which is definitely a good idea, especially as a starting company, and looking at a specific solution for a specific
Hmm.
market. And from what I have gathered the last couple of weeks and looking at your website as well, you've been really going down that rabbit hole of niching down. So explain a little bit what it is right now.
Yeah. So in the beginning, as I mentioned before, we were more towards AI chatbots focused, but we also quickly noticed like the negative connotation that people have with the word chatbot. So we quickly stepped away from it because it wasn't the same thing anymore. It's not a chatbot anymore. So we started calling
Mm,
it actually AI agents because the agents have something way more, how do you say it, capable in their tool set, is that they can get linked and be linked to different software with different,
mhm,
how you say it, like specialities, let's say it like that. So then we noticed, okay, we can do way more than that. And then we started to look, okay, in which niche or in which industry is there a real value that we can create with already the foundational knowledge that we have based on the previous months of testing out, building solutions for clients. And then we noticed that one very big thing is actually product recommendation. So that people can have like a conversational way of getting something completely personalized to them in a very intuitive chat interface, actually. So we noticed that this trend that people are, or even websites, for example, are
mm,
becoming way more intuitive. But right now it's even one more step ahead, and it's even more conversational right now as well. It's as if you would be able to chat with a with the website. And then we took a look, okay, in which industry then is this the most valuable? And then we noticed the direct to consumer, the e-commerce web shop industry. Let's say, for example, I want to find a suit because I have a wedding next week in Spain. So I can just, instead of having to go to the whole list of products and breaking my head, okay, what would be the right fit for me? It's actually like you have a personal shopping assistant. And you could, for example, say, hey, my name is Alexander. I'm 24 years old. Next week I have a wedding in Spain, and I'm looking for like a suit that's a bit more lighter, maybe a yellow color, and is made out of the linen fabric. Do you have something like this? And then the assistant will automatically go through the whole product list and recommend you the best solution. So that way it's way more personalized as well, and it's directly linked to my situation. And it's not just, okay, I'm looking for a suit, yellow and linen. It's, I'm looking for a suit for the wedding in Spain. So the chatbot also understands that. And in terms of like the customer experience, it's a big improvement. But in terms of customer insights, it's huge for the companies because right now it's a new way of gathering information directly from the customer. And you can create like these hyper personalized personas as well. If another Alexander comes through who is also 24 years old and is also looking for a suit, but maybe somewhere else. They already have like this these set of preferences that they know. Okay, Alexander would highly likely also be looking like something like this, and we can be way more direct. And all of this can then flow into all the different marketing efforts, email, paid advertisement, landing page optimization. Everything can become way more personalized as well. So it's really like a first step on gathering so much more information and improving the
yeah, I would
experience.
definitely like that kind of solution. If I'm going to whatever store, even if it's Amazon or whatever, and I can really chat with a bot to help me. I cannot call it a bot actually. I should call it like an agent, right? So like a sales agent or an assistant that
Yeah.
helps you make the right decision. I think that's just very very valuable. Now, in terms of if we go a little bit more
Hmm.
technical, right? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people listening to this do also want to know more about how does it actually works. So, do you use then like an AI tool
Hmm.
like ChatGPT? Do you use I don't know. What do you use, Alexander? Like, I don't want you to give the full details, of course, because
Hmm.
that's a little bit of your IP and how you sell it to people.
Hmm.
But is it just connected to ChatGPT?
Hmm.
Simply put.
No, in one word, no. So it's not just ChatGPT because that's actually the thing that
Yeah.
people are selling as well nowadays. That they just say, okay, I can, just like you said, I can make you a
Yeah.
chatbot, but it's basically just ChatGPT in a different interface, and you get like these completely nonsense answers as well, like full of hallucinations. But to answer your question, it's actually yeah, it's actually like a combination of different tools, all built in an, for example, in a low code or no code environment, but can it's really dependent on
Mhm.
like our client as well. But let's say we have like these different models, Olama, Meta, yeah, from Meta. Then you have Gemini, ChatGPT. But we take a look at, okay, all these models have their strengths and their weaknesses. So with the AI agent approach, so it's actually an agentic workflow. We really take a look at, okay, and we call this conversation designing actually, because right now when we once we have like this flow of an assistant or an AI agent, we take a look at all of the different
Mhm.
stages. It's a bit like a customer journey. Okay, what will be the first message that the agent will send? Then what will be the response that it will get? Okay, how does it need to answer to such a response? So the first message will highly likely be intent scoped, because let's say you have this chat interface. Without interacting, it doesn't know what Alexander wants yet. But if I say, okay, I'm looking for a suit, he knows, okay, Alexander is looking for a product. If I would say, what type of fabrics do you have out of all of your suits, it's more of like a frequently asked question. It's more of a general answer that it should give. So those things are like the different things that it would scope, so the intent of the user. And then based on that, it can see, okay, Alexander is now looking for a suit. What is all of the different information that I would need from Alexander to be able to give him the perfect recommendation?
Mhm.
And then all of these different steps. So the first one is intent scoping. The next one would be recommendation. Then another one would be they would have to it would have to retrieve the information from the database, from the knowledge base. So you could look at it as if it would be a huge Excel on steroids, let's call it that way, for visualization matters. And it would be able to link different keywords that I was saying, for example, suit, Spain. So it would link Spain with warm weather, for example, if I say in the summer, and then linen, the type of fabric, the color as well. Those are all different parameters. And it would take a look in the database, okay, which one is most likely to perfectly match the needs of Alexander. But that's the power then of AI, is that I can say it in any way or form, and the AI
Mhm.
assistant will still understand. If I say very, how do you say it, like bold, yellow suit, linen, let's say in a double stitched format, for example, or like some kind of styling. Okay, he knows exactly the parameters, but nobody will talk normally like that. You will have like a more
Yeah.
conversational way of speaking to it, especially if we integrate the voice capabilities, so the voice to text, so that people don't even have to type anymore, but can just click a button. Okay, now it's recording my voice, so you can literally speak to it. Just like, for example, the ChatGPT app that you can have on your phone, you can also just perfectly speak to it, and it will, on a very high accuracy level, be able to answer you. And then based on all of these different steps, we define, okay, which model is best suited and is also most cost efficient, because that's also a big part. It has to be able to give the right answer, but it also has to be cost efficient enough so that we can do it on a very scalable way. Because if we have a web shop where millions of users are using it, yeah, you don't want the cost to skyrocket as well without having the ROI factor there. So yeah, I hope that that
Yeah,
already
absolutely. I
provides
think
some
that
clarity.
makes it perfectly clear, especially for the people, for the businesses in that space. I think also for the consumers, it just will help them a lot
Hmm.
to make the right decisions. And even if it's an AI
Hmm.
agent that is behind that, people are getting used to ChatGPT more and more and more. And even if it's going down now, you can see people now already screaming like, "Oh my God, ChatGPT is down. What should we do now?" It's like the time
Hmm.
where like Facebook was down and nobody knew what to do anymore. So that tells us like the adoption of
Exactly.
AI is really skyrocketing, right? It's there to stay, And
Hmm.
what I do also hear then is people that are
Hmm.
getting a little bit worried about the fact that AI might take a lot of the jobs that are out there. So if you're looking at this solution right here for e-commerce businesses, this avoids that companies need to hire a big customer service team or even some kind of a sales rep at the front end, right? So how would you reply to people
Hmm.
like saying like, yeah, but I don't know, it's going to steal our jobs, Alexander? What would you say to that?
That's actually a statement that
Yeah.
we heard like pretty often, also when we're talking with clients, for example, or with prospects. And then we're saying it's always the same answer. Like right now, in the beginning, it's way more of an assisting role as well. And it actually works empowering to the people because if you have like these repetitive and mundane tasks, highly likely that the people won't be like waking up every morning, being so excited to do like the very manual, very brain dead type of tasks. But if you can automate all of those things and you can make sure that the people who are in the customer support roles really get to the most, how do you say it? The most benefits of their role as well. They can really feel that they are having an impact, so they can focus all of their time and effort into the more complex matters where they really have or where you really need that human connection. Because I still believe we
Mhm.
definitely still need the human touch. The human connection is crucial, especially if you're working with people. People still trust people. It's not that they will trust an AI, they will trust the brand or the person that's behind it. The thing that where AI is such a lifesaver is actually that it can make humans even more like or human interaction even more human, let's say, to be able to really put those people in the right place so they can have an even more human and personalized
Yeah, I think so
approach
as
as well.
well.
So yeah,
Yeah,
to
I think
answer your
you're right. I
question.
think it's
Hmm.
enhancing the work that people do, and the people that are just doing the low level tasks, let's say, they will definitely need to learn
Hmm.
how to use AI. They will need to learn other skills, or they will definitely be replaced. And I think it's a normal evolution. It's like when um, television was coming up and radio was going down. You see, or any of the tools that were coming out for farmers, for example. Like
Hmm.
people just need to know, and with the internet as well, people just need to adapt and and learn other
Exactly.
skills to still be relevant. You have to still be
Exactly.
relevant. And I think also
Yeah.
for e-commerce brands, like you're targeting e-commerce brands, it's the same, right? They can say whatever they want, and AI is bad, and AI will. What about security? What about this? But if a competitor is figuring out how to
Mhm.
use AI in a way that it enhances their customer journey and it is
Mhm.
secure and all of that, well, you better join the ride. Let's say you better join what or look at what they're doing and trying to emulate that, or you're going to be left behind, right? I think that's also a big
Mhm.
point when you're talking to these
Yeah,
businesses.
true. You're completely right. You're spot on. And I think as well, like people forget that AI has been
Mm.
around for way longer than just now. It's just because now with ChatGPT that people think, okay, right now AI is gonna take over everything. But they forget that it has already been in the game for years. It was just not as
Mhm.
accessible to everyone. In the beginning, it was also way more predictive AI that was being used. Right now, we have like this whole shift to generative AI, or not even shift, but just the
Mhm.
generative AI who is booming. So it's just like a different perspective. But people now think, okay, AI is coming and take our jobs, so we need to watch out. And I quickly need to learn how to code, otherwise I won't have any future. But that's not true. It's just that you will have to find where you can really provide value in your job role, and you will see that with the help of the AI, you will even enjoy it even more because you can really focus on what the core is of that job function. And
No.
normally it shouldn't be just writing something in an Excel or transferring just data brain dead like the whole day. So yeah, I definitely think that the outcome is positive. But yeah, people need to be educated on this as well because yeah, that's also how media lives, right? They,
Mhm.
they live on fear and on on exciting topics. So but then it's also important that we don't just stick our head in the ground as well, and that we also are aware of like the dangers of, for example, deep fake, like all of the other aspects. Cybersecurity as well is a big thing, because we have already seen in the recent past actually that people are trying to use everything they can. You have always like the two sides. You have the sides who are okay, they really want to get the best for the world, the positive impact, and nothing but that. But then you have like the people, okay, how can we use this technology to take advantage of people? So yeah, people will have to adapt, and this will be something that's, or this is something that's disrupting every single sector, every single industry, whatever you're doing. If you're cleaning or if you're having an agency or a software development company, it will impact you in any way or form. Is just being aware that as day passes or as time passes by, like it will become part of our foundational day-to-day
Yeah, 100%.
structure as well.
A life without AI is hard to imagine right now. If you see the evolution, new chips
Hmm.
are getting created. And I'm not talking the ones that you can eat, but the ones that you put in your computer, right? Specific chips that do the calculation around for the AI tools. So while you have your CPU, you have your GPU, now you have your NPU, right? So a specific chip for AI
Hmm.
that will just help to do all the calculation that AI needs. So that kind of evolution is really exciting to see, especially for us techies, right? I mean, but it also means that this is getting
Hmm.
serious, right? If you see how much money Nvidia is
Definitely.
putting into this, Qualcomm I also saw is coming out with a lot of these chips. Yeah, it's crazy to see the evolution, right? Where do you see this going, Alexander? And also for your
Hmm.
company, Otro, you've been niching down now to e-commerce, AI agents. Where do you see this going?
That's a very good question. Like in terms of where we see this going in terms of our company, or you mean in terms of like the future of AI a bit, or like the near future because
Yeah,
it's changing so
both
fast.
actually, because if AI changes, if there's a lot of stuff coming out, we as business owners that are using AI within our business to help our customers, we have to make sure that we keep up with all of these things. And if we're building a solution right now, that it's still relevant tomorrow. So where do you see the evolution going for AI, and how will it impact the business?
I think like the factor of adoption is very crucial there as well, because right now
Hmm.
we're still in the early adoption phase, and we noticed this as well, especially like a few months ago once we started to talk with people who were already interested in AI. Those are really like the innovator type of people, so they were already, whatever new technology there would be, they would
Hmm.
be highly likely to try to test it out and see how they can use it. We're slowly shifting to like this the second phase of the adoption curve where okay, people are starting to really realize there is a very big ROI factor here, and if I don't do it, my competitor definitely will. So right now we're more shifting towards okay, what are the real results of implementing this solution, whereas in the beginning our clients were more like okay, this sounds so cool, let me try it out. Right now it's okay, this sounds
Hmm.
cool, but what can I get from it? So that's why it was so key, and you definitely see it with like the big players or even like the smaller players who are riding the wave of AI automation as a service, for example, that once you had like these first use cases to really build your authority and trust and provide some proven results, those results are the things that will get the new clients also coming in because they are more focused towards that. But then to again shift that towards where are we going with AI, like the adoption is really key. And I think right now for like the mass consumer, that's also hard. It's something that will be progressive. Let's say, for example, the way that people are going to
Hmm.
interact with web shops. I'm very sure that I'm pretty sure that in a few years from now, like all of the interactions with like websites and web shops will be conversational. It won't be like that they need to have like these 20 steps in between of clicking all the filters and trying to find what's right for them. The AI will probably already know before you even hop on the website. Okay, Alexander is right now
Yeah,
in this stage of his life, or has like already a plan or a trip booked to Ibiza. So he will probably, if he comes on the web shop, needs
yeah.
some kind of swimming shorts or something. So it will get really crazy. But the thing is, from now until then, there are still so many different steps in between of people having to get used to it as well and really feel safe as well. Because with like these disruptive
Hmm.
technologies, safety is a big thing. And this is just something that you can get by exposure therapy. I think just using it and seeing, okay, this is something I can use and doesn't have any negative consequences for me, even provides value, then people will get used to it, will trust it more, and they will start telling other people. And before you know, everybody is using it as
Hmm.
if it's second nature, just as we had with the phones as well. It was exactly the same thing. In the beginning, before everybody had like
Yeah,
this BlackBerry and with the buttons and everything, or like the flip phones, suddenly you see your neighbor with like this iPhone, and you say, "Ah, that looks pretty cool," and you have internet on that, and you can
exactly.
you hear your music as well. Okay, let me try it out as well. It looks pretty good, and then the most important part, you trust it as well because you're using it, right? It's working fine for you. And then he says, yeah, and then that's how it will progressively turn more into something that can be mass adopted as well. I think we saw the same thing with, for example,
Mm.
virtual reality, right? In the very beginning, once they targeted like more of the gamer or the gaming industry, like the entertainment industry, it had its flaws, but the people who were using it were people who were like excited for like this new technology as well. And right now we see that it's being more and more used also in different aspects. And it's all because, okay, people already know it and have heard from it like years and years already now. They are getting exposure of it, like, okay, VR is being used like this or like that. So they know, okay, it probably has some value as well. So they start to adopt it slowly. And I think that will be also with
Yeah,
AI the
yeah, I think
case.
you're right. Absolutely right. And I mean, for us business owners that are using AI in our services, I think we're at the right time to get into this as early adopters,
Mhm.
since this is going to evolve so rapidly. And if you're just getting started with our customers, getting accustomed to AI, sky is the limit if you're doing it well right now. But I would say, like I said at the beginning, don't fall into the trap if you're trying to build a business around AI to just connect it like with ChatGPT or something. Really think about the value that you can bring to your
Exactly.
customers. Think about scenarios. Think about, I don't know, more than just providing a prompt to a company, I would say, because you want to be still relevant in a couple of
Yeah,
years as well
very
if you're
true.
doing this. Alexander, if I look at the name of your company, I've always wondered, where is this name coming
Hmm.
from? Otro AI. I
Hmm.
I have a Spanish
Hmm.
speaking boyfriend, so I'm guessing it's Spanish and it's otro is other, right? If I'm not mistaken. So is that where
Yeah,
it's coming
yeah,
from? So
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're spot on actually. And the funny thing is actually Otro AI, Otro was already like a company or like a business project actually that my
ah,
co-founder founded when he was still in uni, because in his second year we are studying, or we were studying the same thing, business management here in Belgium. And we had for the second year a project where we need to start a company in the first semester, everything build out theoretically, and then in the
mhm.
second semester operationally. He started like
Okay,
this ginger drink,
okay,
and it was called Otro actually. And the thing was with that was special about this ginger drink was that it would have like this kind of taste and feeling like you would be actually drinking alcohol, but it wasn't alcohol because it was this ginger drink. So that was like a different way of experiencing like the alcoholic experience of having to drink something, or having like this social pressure of, okay, I don't want to drink alcohol, but I still want to
yeah,
enjoy like some kind of cocktail, for example, and still feeling included. So that's actually where the name Otro itself came from. But then we actually stopped our business project. I as well did the same business project in the time, because we had an exchange program, and then our internship, and then we would be graduated, or we were graduated. And then we took a look at, okay, we still have this Otro legal
ah,
entity set up, and we were like, okay, how can we do a very quick pivot? And he already included in his whole documentation,
mhm.
how do you say it, like certificate, that he would be allowed to do some software development and do some consulting as well. So we just took it and like switched it, and we just added AI behind it as well. But then we started to think, okay, outro is actually a perfect word for it as well,
Yeah,
because we're looking at a different way that companies can use AI today as well. And the thing is about outro, so another in Spanish as well, or other in Spanish. Yeah, we're really looking at how can we make sure that you have like this very broad technology of AI, but in which different way can companies use it that they don't know yet, and in which different way can they really have like the value that you wouldn't be able to get by your own, but you would need a
Mm.
dedicated AI partner for that. So that's where
A
we
good
would come in
name.
then.
I like it a lot. Yeah, it's definitely different for sure. Good choice.
And actually, where does Titanify come from? Because I've always also been
Titanify. Titanify comes from. So a couple of years ago, I started more like a business coaching program for LGBTQ plus business owners, and I was looking for a name, and I was reading a book at the time, How to Build Giants. And I was thinking, I really like that book, and I really like the
Mhm,
term giants. I want to help people become giants, but actually, I don't want to use the word giant. So I thought,
mhm,
like, okay, what is another word for giants? Titans. Thinking, okay, and I wanted to make it into a
mhm,
movement, like Scientology, but not that extreme. It's not a sect.
mhm,
So then I thought, what
mhm,
about Titanology? Okay, I was looking for the name online. It still was available. I just bought the domain name, Titanology, and I was running with that. And then
mhm,
while I was helping businesses, I was always saying to them, I'm going to titanify your business. I'm going to make it solid, really like a titan, so you can be a titan of your industry. You
mhm,
can be a titan business leader, playing around with that
mhm,
name. And Titanify stuck around, and it's like Spotify, it's, does it mean anything? It's like a lot of people use
mhm,
the phi kind of naming. And again, domain name was available. So yeah, it sounded good, Titanify. I didn't want it to use something very common like, I don't know, automation, business automation services dot
mhm,
whatever, no, let's just create something that is weird, that you have to explain it, but it's so unique that
mhm.
you wouldn't find it anywhere else. So if you would also search for Titanify online, you will only find me. So that's also why I chose that name. So in the end, it's
Mhm.
more like a combination of a lot of things coming together. But I like the idea of Titanifying
That's
your
great.
business, even if it's just automating your business processes. So
Mm.
that's where it's coming from. Yeah. So we both have unique
Yeah,
names.
it's very
We
good.
we thought
Very.
about it. I mean, I was never the best at marketing, but last couple of years I
Yeah.
really dug into that, and yeah, that helps to really understand, like,
Mhm.
the name, the branding is as important as anything else, because people need to be able to understand, or at least
Yeah.
uh, connect the name to the services and so on, so they have to remember us, Alexander. I think that's important, no matter what you do. That's
Yeah, branding is key.
But I
Branding is
didn't put
very key.
AI at the end. I mean, we're using AI, um, but it's, for us, it's
Mhm.
not just AI. I would say we're doing a lot of other stuff as well.
Mhm.
And maybe later we will. I don't know.
Mhm.
Things evolve so quickly, and if we see also within businesses how they use AI, how they use to enhance their processes. A lot of tools that are already AI enhanced, you can use those tools as well. So I guess the AI part is becoming more and more common. But I do also believe that what you're doing with the AI agents is very smart move as well, because
Mhm.
it just helps. Again, it helps people, and if it shortens the sales cycle as well for companies, B2B, B2C doesn't really matter. If you can shorten your sales cycle, who wouldn't want to have that, right?
Exactly, exactly. And they are so diverse as well. You can
Yeah.
use them in any way or form. Because if you have like foundational part already set that you know, okay, I have now, for example, Alexander, the
Hmm.
sales rep agent. Yeah, Alexander, the sales rep agent doesn't only interact one-on-one with clients, but it can
Hmm.
interact one on thousand simultaneously. So
Yeah.
it's so scalable as well. And then you have like these different positions as well that you can fill in. If Alexander is an onboarding agent and like a new client, or not a new client, yeah, or a new client or a new employee is coming through, yeah, you can do it in such a scalable and standardized
Yeah.
form.
And one thing, one of my recent customers said something that I really like how he said it. We are actually helping them become so automated. I have to be careful here with my wording, because it's not, of course, never fully automated, but we help them to
Hmm.
automate their, like their sales process, their customer journey in such a way that they will not have any other choice but to grow. Because if this is done right, like
Mhm.
right, that like what you're proposing, what you're installing within their businesses, if you do it right, a lot of people will start buying faster,
Mhm.
will start buying more because they will feel like this is for me, right? I mean, this looks like specifically for me. So why
Yeah,
this convinces me to go with this company. So in the end, it gives them more customers. So they will grow
exactly.
faster. And that's what I'm thinking about these days as well.
Mhm.
If I have to explain people what do we do, Alexander, right? If they people ask, what is your job? What would you say? What do you say actually?
What do I say? Right now, so we shifted to e-commerce. We say, okay, we create
Yeah.
AI personal shopping assistants to make your web shopping
Yeah.
experience conversational and personalized. So that's like in one sentence what we do. But
Hmm.
if we take a look at it on a macro level, just like you said,
Yeah.
okay, we help your company grow by using the right technologies and systems,
Yeah.
because that's like the real scoped
100%.
out vision.
That's what I started to use as well. I call it
Hmm.
I call it I help you collect more customers. It's a
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. And what you said resonates with
yeah.
so many people as well already, because if you take a look at it, the role that the AI agents are filling in is something that we've been doing, but all of our time was allocated to that. So we had like these two roles. We could work in the company or we could work
Hmm.
on the company. Working on the company is to really making it grow and making it more profitable and really doing the work like that, the 20,
Hmm.
80% work that is really moving the needle. Whereas working in the company are like the repetitive things, but the things that need to be done in order to grow the company, because without that, you
Yeah.
cannot grow the company. It's necessary. But we are using now all of the different systems, automations, and agents who are able to work inside of the company. So you can focus on, okay, the strategic vision, what is the thing that really moves the needle, and how can you really grow your company exponentially. So what you said was
Yeah.
perfectly in line with that as well. That, yeah, we're helping companies grow by focusing their
Yeah.
time and effort where it really matters.
And the conclusion is of this conversation that businesses look, don't be afraid
Hmm.
of AI. Start using it 100%. You know, this is the time. You better be
Exactly.
with like the whole movement or you're going to be left behind. Alexander, where can people find more about you and
Hmm.
Otro AI?
So on the website
Mm-hmm.
itself, otro.ai, it's very easy. It's just the name. Otro.ai is a website as well. And on LinkedIn. So on my personal profile, but also on the profile of my co-founder, for example, he mostly posts about more of the technical stuff, like the real systems as well, the automations and like the
Mm-hmm.
more infrastructure side of the things. I also focus more on the use cases, like the results from it and the entrepreneurial journey as well. But yeah, on those two platforms for sure. Or yeah, even on my email, it's just alexander@altro.ai. So also very easy.
Cool.
Um,
Cool,
but yeah,
cool, cool.
looking forward.
Thank you so much, Alexander, for being here and for sharing your thoughts about AI and your business. And we're looking forward to seeing how it evolves, right? Let's do this again in a few months' time. And probably we're going to be talking about a lot of other stuff as well that has been arriving on the scene. Thank you again, Alexander. Thank
Thank
you,
you very
everybody,
much.
for watching
It's
and
my
for
pleasure.
listening to this podcast. We will see each other on another time. Bye bye.